What's up YouTube, Toy Pulse here. Today we're going to take a look at the Masters of the Universe Origins Clamp Champ. Clamp Champ comes packaged in the standard deluxe packaging for this line, which is meant to mimic the deluxe packaging of the vintage line. Clamp Champ did not have a vintage deluxe figure, but this one is meant to look just like the old style figures. He also has an image in the top right corner, which features him holding his Trapper Power Pincer weapon. The card back is a delight, as is typical with the Origins line. We get some awesome art showing Clamp Champ fighting Ninjor with his Power Pincer weapon, while King Randor watches from the background. What I love most about this art is that it not only calls back to the vintage Clamp Champ card back, which depicted a similar battle between Clamp and Ninjor, but it also calls back to Clamp's vintage mini-comic, The Search for Keldor. In the comic, Ninjor tries to shoot Clamp with an arrow from above, which he easily catches, much to the dismay of the evil Ninjor. Such an awesome detail. The back of the package also shows some cross-sell art depicting other figures in this line. I don't know what wave this thing is supposed to be in. I actually saw this thing on the shelves in like February or March, and I didn't grab it like an idiot because I just figured it would be easier to get, and here we are in June and I'm just now getting it, so shame on me. But it does show off how to use his Techno Clamp, which I guess is what it's called. I've been calling it the Power Pincer, but it's the Techno Clamp. But otherwise, it's pretty standard cross-sell art for this line. He also comes with the same mini-comic that came with Battle Armor He-Man and Battle Armor Skeletor, Battle Armor Reborn, and it's pretty cool. It's got a couple of similar elements with the vintage Clamp Champ mini-comic where he's escorting King Randor. The biggest difference with this one is that there's no Keldor element, there's no Ninjor, it's just Skeletor and a bunch of Horde robots. But I think it's pretty fun. It's really cool. I think the neatest thing about it, and this is only cool if you're watching this as of June 7th, because Big Bad Toy Store just announced an exclusive Eternian Royal Guard. And you can see in certain shots in this comic the Eternian Royal Guard. So that's a fun little just timing thing for me. I happen to be seeing this the day it's revealed, so that's pretty cool. But the mini comic itself is fine. It's standard fare. If you've got any of the other Battle Armor characters, then you've definitely seen this one. So he also comes with two different heads, which I really love. I think it's such a great little inclusion. It gives more expressions, more opportunities for posing. One of the heads is this sort of like evil-looking, almost confident-looking grin, where his teeth are gritted. He has a kind of little smirk, and the eyebrows almost look kind of angry. And the other one is a kind of standard gritting face, but I really like the more angrier-looking face. It just gives it a lot more character, and looks just great on the shelf. He also comes with three different hands, two gripping hands, and one kind of splayed-out hand, which is pretty standard. He also comes with, along with his little pincer weapon, he comes with a sort of like claw accessory that did not come with the vintage line. This is actually a creation of the NECA. When NECA did the 2000X line, they did like a line of statues to kind of continue the way if they were sort of in-action figures, just pure statues. But that was one of the things they added to Clamp Champ, was that little claw thingy. So they added that here, which is pretty cool. And I think the classics version of this character also came with a version of that. So that's a really cool accessory. It's very soft rubbery plastic, so you can kind of put it on people's necks or do whatever with it. That's pretty fun. I'm glad he comes with more than just the big pincer thing, so I'm into that. His armor is removable like the vintage figure, and unlike the vintage figure, it is not the hard plastic, the two kind of shells that these figures used to have, but it is a soft rubbery plastic, and I definitely think that this works better in terms of playability and usability. I sort of miss the hard plastic of the older figures. There's just something really satisfying about the way they snapped together and clicked. I don't know, I feel like this guy goes for a lot on the secondary market. I don't really collect vintage stuff, so I don't know, but I would love to maybe find the vintage armor, and I'm pretty sure this has already been reused for Fisto. I think it's the same mold, it's just going to be repainted, so I don't know, I might try to track down vintage armor just because I like how it feels better. I assume it will fit mostly similarly, but it's good. It fits well and it looks great on him and other figures, and it snaps together nicely, so that's definitely a nice touch. Okay, let's take a look at the Techno Clamp accessory. It looks very similar to the vintage one. It's almost identical in terms of the mold and the paint. This one's a little smaller, I want to say. I'm going off memory. It's definitely lighter. The plastic there's not as much heft to it. It feels a little, I don't want to say cheaper, but it doesn't have the weight the vintage one does. The action feature works very differently. It's similar in the sense that it does a snap and it clamps, but it's not as satisfying as the vintage one. So with this one, you just press the button once and it snaps out. In the pincers, it feels like a very lightweight snap. Like it's not very satisfying. Whereas the vintage one, and I wish I could compare it, but it has you press the button back and forth and it clamps repeatedly, and it's just very like tactile and satisfying. This one, it just feels, there's not really heft to it. It doesn't, I don't know, there's no snap. It's cool. It's definitely cool, and it's true in the spirit of the figure, but it's yeah, I don't know. I was kind of hoping it would be the same as the vintage, and it's just not. So maybe I'll try to track down a vintage one, but it's definitely not bad by any means, and it's definitely close. Kind of makes me want to do a custom for a Blue Beetle figure. It kind of has like a scarab look to it, doesn't it? Am I the only one that sees that? Kind of got a little Blue Beetle scarab, but yeah, otherwise it's pretty cool. It's just not quite as good as the vintage one. One thing that is nice about the Tech Clamp accessory is that it's very light in that, so he doesn't have any trouble holding it. It's not going to topple your figure over. He's not going to really like weigh it down. So that's definitely cool. He can hold it up without any effort. But let's actually use it on a Cobra baddie here, or Skeletor baddie, I should say, a G.I. Joe on the brain. But yeah, you just pop it up. If I can do this without my thumb getting in the way, it's hard to do from this angle. Let's try. Here we go. Okay. Boom. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty satisfying. And then you can just pop them over. Yeah, that works. I think that's pretty cool. Overall, Clamp Champ is a great update to the vintage figure. I wouldn't say he's a must-have, but if you're a fan of the character or the vintage figure, this is a wonderful successor. Thank you so much for watching. You know the drill. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you think of Clamp Champ. Is this a figure you're going to be picking up? If not, let me know why. If you are, let me know why. Did you own the vintage figure? And be sure to go follow me on Instagram at ToyPulse. Until next time, see ya!